Tammy, good to see you. Can we assess where England are at? So you lost to Australia, got away with one against Pakistan, but qualified for the semi-finals pretty much at the earliest opportunity. So where would you say the team is at?
Yeah, I think probably a fair assessment there. I think, we came hoping to get into the semi-finals and working towards that. And at that point we'd gone pretty perfectly to get in there, and a little bit of help with the rain in Colombo as it's done for a few teams. But I guess we're building momentum. Obviously that loss against Australia, not ideal, but probably a good chance to take some learnings into the next couple of games.
So what have you done well?
I think we've had contributions from a lot of different people. I think the bowling unit's done really well. I think Linsey Smith, particularly opening the bowling, has been brilliant doing that role for us. And then the way she defended in that India game, I think is really good. I think we've adapted quite well. We've played in 4 different places. I think this will be the 5th, and it's kind of like a rolling caravan where you just kind of keep having to get on the roll. And I think in the way we're kind of reviewing well and looking forward to playing here tomorrow.
The good things you've been doing, do you just perhaps take it against Australia or something, have to do it for a bit longer?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, we got them 60 for 4, so you've shown that we can take them on and put them on the back foot. And, the power play, I think we were 55 for 1. I think you'd probably take that against their bowling attack. So there was good patches, but I think you just got to do it for longer. And it's probably taking some calculated risks at the right times to try and put the pressure back on them. They are still human, they still make mistakes, and it's a case of trying to do that for much longer.
Could you have taken more calculated risks then in the batting against Australia? I know Alana King was bowling beautifully and it was spinning, and she certainly got a lot of bounce. How do you judge that? How do you balance that? Yeah,
absolutely. That's something we didn't get right. I think anyone going for 20 in their 10 overs is not what you want as a batting unit. And I guess in a way we kind of lost that wicket of Nat Sivabrant early in Kingy's spell, and then never really quite gained momentum from that. But I thought we did brilliantly at the death to get 70 off that last 10 overs with Alice Capsey and Charlie Dean in particular. So I guess it's just trying to do it a bit earlier and put something back on such a great spinner. I think the conditions kind of just changed perfectly for her. She managed to get quite a lot of big spin on it, and it wasn't a wicket you felt like you could trust your back foot game with the odd one shooting through. Heather's dismissal didn't really get up, so not a bit of a perfect storm in that regard, but we've probably got to find a way to adapt if we come up against that against.
Well, it's not like we can bring in a left hand or anything like that. I mean, you may come across her again in the final. Can you switch it? Can you do it that way, or is that too much of a risk against someone like Alana King?
I think it's finding your own way to do it, isn't it? I think that's probably not going to be my option. I'd probably try and sweep a bit more, maybe get the paddle out a lot sooner, or just be as brave as you can, be using your feet and getting to the pitch of the ball. Other players who've got that, your Nat Sivabrants, your Alice Capseys, they might go to that. Heather Knight's a brilliant reverse sweeper. We just got to find a way of maybe getting one boundary away, and then a few more bad balls will come.
You mentioned Linsey Smith. What a story that is. Fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think someone who's really honed her game in county cricket, in the 100, and performed consistently for a number of years, and finally been rewarded with that ODI cap against the West Indies earlier this summer, taking 5 for as well at Derby, and then coming into this World Cup probably didn't know if she'd be there kind of a year out. And I think the way she's gone about her business, she's so diligent in everything she does. She's got all the plans, all the notebooks, writing in and doing all her work, and then she's gone out and done it.
I know it was in a losing cause, but how pleased were you that you spent some time in the middle and contributed?
Yeah.
Were you worrying?
No, actually, I wasn't too worried, actually. Frustrated and disappointed a lot of the time. But I knew I'd been working really, really hard in the nets, and Alex Gidman, the batting coach, has had to put up with a lot as he's over there. Give him a shout out. But yeah, he's had to put up with a lot of kind of me being in a bit of a mood probably for not scoring enough runs, as is the currency with batting, I think. But no, I felt like I was moving really well in the nets. I'd obviously had a bit of a problem back end of the summer with the ball coming in or the ball nipping in, but I felt like I'd done the work to be able to cope with that, and I kind of felt like in the India game I probably proved that I'm not just going to get out to in-swinging yet again, and then just glad to contribute, but in a way I'm always wanting more, so yeah, happy but still want a bit more.
What have you done then to try and arrest the little nip backers? Is it a technical thing, a mindset thing, a set-up thing? All of the above?
Yeah, I think we've been through the houses. Probably a bit of over-analysis at times. There's been cameras on training. I've had no front pad on at training with the seamers bowling.
You ain't got any bruises, so you must have hit them.
No, there was one. There was one on the shin. You learn the hard way when you're in pain. But no, I've done a bit of everything. We've looked at technique, we've looked at hands, we've looked at where my feet were going, and in the end, it was just a case of don't get hit on the pad. Just get on with it. I think a little bit potentially trying to cover the ball, maybe getting out a bit too far with my front stride. And actually, I've been better when I've let the ball come, had a slightly smaller stride, get a bit better bend in my front knee. But sometimes it's just about getting something between your teeth and putting up a fight.
The mindset of trying to work like that is very challenging in a World Cup, isn't it? That's sort of like the technical stuff you might want to do if you've got a couple of months at Loughborough or someone like that. But to do it in the middle of a World Cup.
Yeah, well, that's international cricket, you know. I felt like I had a really good start to the season, really good lead up with the Blaze, my county, and obviously performed pretty well kind of June time, and then something went wrong in the 100. And the schedule is just get on a bus, go play somewhere, get on a bus, go play somewhere, and you don't have time to work on that. I had a back spasm, couldn't train for a whole week and just kept playing. And then pretty much end of the 100 we had 10 days at home and then out to Abu Dhabi. So that's the schedule, that's the life of an international cricketer. You don't get much time to go and really just work on things unless it's, while you're also in competition, and that's probably what's made it tough and made it more frustrating, quite mentally challenging at times. But I guess when you've played as much as I have and you've got as many wrinkles as I have, you have to just trust the process and know you've been there before, too many times for my liking, but you just got to keep putting in the hard work and trust that eventually it'll come off.
So New Zealand tomorrow, I know you'd love to win that game and keep the momentum going into the semi-finals, but just the final one, jumping forward to those semis, we don't know if it's going to be Australia or South Africa because they're playing in about a couple of hours' time. Would you like to get back on the horse against Australia at the earliest opportunity?
I think for me, I'll take whoever we get. I think World Cup cricket, I've been in enough of them. You have to beat the best teams. You have to play the best teams. You have to play the best cricket on the day. And I think a one-off game against Australia, whether that's a semi-final or a final, if we turn up and we play our cricket and we play brave cricket, going out there trying to take it to them, then we've got every chance of winning. So I don't mind whether it's a semi-final or a final. But yeah, certainly be up for it.
Great to see you. Thank you.